Phoenix, Arizona boy, man. How's everybody doing? Welcome to Space Motherfucking Nasty on YouTube. Welcome to Smoke Nation Worldwide on Facebook. Light it up if you got it, baby. Yeah. I'm over here. Yeah, steady smoking, token. Yep. Trying to take the pain away. I'm steady on the mission, trying to make a better day. I'm on my mission. Well, I completed shit. She should be here. Man, that's crazy, Travis. That's crazy, bro. Straight blazing, man. Feeling good and shit, man. Welcome to the show. If you get a notification, sure, I already know what to do, man. Yo, what up, Angel? How you doing? What you got going on? What you blazing on? Hopefully the beats don't get me in trouble on Facebook. I mean on Instagram. I mean on YouTube and shit, man. But if it does, oh well. What are you up to right about? I'm straight vibing, smoking, keeping the peace. And my brother Travis, head over to Smoke Nation Worldwide, bro. That's where we're at, bro. I appreciate you. I'm gonna leave the watch party right now, my G. I'm just vibing, guys. I hope you guys are vibing too. I'm gonna go downstairs and shit, man. Get ready for dinner and all that shit, man, you know? Hell yeah, man. Anybody find any more interesting things and shit going on in the world and shit, man, you know? What's up with all these UFO sightings and shit, man? Can anybody guide me in the right direction? You know, can anybody guide me in the right direction and shit, man, you know? Oh, shit. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I fucked up, guys. Hold on real fast. I try to run my mouth and shit, man, you know? But yeah, man, there's been a lot of fucking, like, illusions and shit in the sky, man, you know? Crazy shit in the sky. I'm gonna see if I could search it like that. Crazy events in the sky? I don't know. What would I put? Mystery orbs in the sky? What would I put?
So I just ordered these 4 pizzas here, and it was supposed to cost me over $100, but it ended up costing me only $65.
That's cool, bro. Suck it easy. But yeah, I'm back. Hold on. Let me see. Let's find some UFO sightings, man. 2020. Action in the skies. 2020. Yo, hey, I really did like this shit right here. Hey, la-di-da-di. We like to party, got haters on my dick, but that don't even bother me. I'm on a mission. I'ma keep on fucking pushing every day. I stay on my motherfucking chair, and I'm thinking for better fucking days, and I don't think that shit is coming. So you know I keep on baking, I keep smoking and toking. You know how that shit go. They come to stay fucking nasty. Yeah, you know I turn the world. Motherfucking crazy, cause we smoking the weed. We on a whole different mission, baby, chasing white smoke all over the globe. Yeah, we on a mission, baby. You know how this shit goes. Hey. Project Blue Dream. I hear about that and shit, man. You know, people are gonna fall for that shit. Haha. Yeah, what's going on, bro? Mad love and respect, Aish. What's going down? Yeah, man, I believe in that Project Blue Dream. Yeah, they've been showing different fucking bullshit happen like in the oceans and shit like that. But shit that people ain't supposed to be seeing or accidentally caught or I don't know, man. I mean, some people are gonna, I don't know. April 2023, a Lyrid meteor shower. We're already past that though. May 6th and 7th. Man, I ain't worried about all that shit, man. I know this morning you guys were supposed to be able to see like Venus and Jupiter or something like that right next to the moon or some shit like that. Hold on, let me see what this shit talks about.
January 4th brings the peak of the Quadrantid meteor shower. This annual shower can be one of the better ones of the year, although it has a much shorter peak than most other meteor showers, just a few hours versus a day or two. The visibility of meteor showers from year to year has a lot to do with whether there's a bright moon in the sky at the time or not. This year, the moon will set soon after midnight local time, meaning viewing conditions should be good provided your local skies are not obscured by winter weather. Face toward the northeast between midnight.
Yo, what up, Keith? How you doing? Welcome.
As 24 meters per hour under dark skies, and the farther away you get from city lights, the darker it'll be. So bundle up and be sure to give your eyes a little time to adapt to the dark, including a break from your mobile device in order to see the maximum number of meteors. Mars rises before dawn during January with its rival, the red giant star Antares.
Let
The
me
name
put
of
this right
this
here.
star weather. Face toward the
Let me see. Let me show this. Let me show this real fast. Hold on. Bam. Screen sharing. Let's go like this, puto. Let's go like that, puto. Share it. Share it, home. Share it. Let's see what these putos are talking about.
the northeast between midnight and dawn to see as many as 24 meteors per hour under dark skies. And the farther away you get from city lights, the darker it'll be. So bundle up and be sure to give your eyes a little time to adapt to the dark, including a break from your mobile device in order to see the maximum number of
Like,
meteors.
get the fuck out your phone and shit.
Mars
Get programmed
rises
another way.
before dawn during January with its rival, the red giant star Antares. The name of this star translates as rival to Mars in ancient Greek, and the star rivals the red planet's appearance to the unaided eye, both in color and brightness. In reality, Antares is way, way bigger than Mars. In fact, it's much bigger than the orbit of Mars. It's about 10,000 times brighter than our sun, but it's also 16 million times farther away from us than Mars is. So, like all stars, even though it's really bright, it appears as just a tiny, flickering point of light in the night sky. You can view the pair low in the southeast about an hour before sunrise each morning. Near the beginning of January, Mars appears above Antares. As the days progress, the planet moves lower and to the east of Antares. They're joined by a slim lunar crescent on January 20th for what should be a very pretty grouping. And as we start 2020, NASA's looking forward to the launch of the Mars 2020 rover mission. It's slated to blast off in July to seek signs of ancient life in a fossilized river delta on the red planet. Closing out the month, the crescent moon and Venus once again make for a gorgeous sight at the end of January on the same day of the month as they did back in December.
New World Order, man, will be
January
taking
20th,
control, huh?
You'll find the pair hovering in the southwest in the hour or so after sunset that evening. So be sure to go out and take a look. Here are the phases of the moon for January.
Man, I really don't give a
You can catch up on all of NASA's current and future missions at...
I really don't care. If you guys are doing shit, that's awesome and shit. That's a little bit of information for you guys and shit. If your kids, what? Check this shit out. Check this shit out, Holmes.
Strap yourselves in. We're going to Mars. Not just a few astronauts, thousands of people are going to colonize Mars, and I am telling you that they're going to do this soon. Some of you will end up working on projects on Mars, and I guarantee that some of your children will end up living there. That probably sounds preposterous, so I'm going to share with you how and when that will happen. But first, I want to discuss the obvious question. Why the heck should we do this? 12 years ago, I gave a TED Talk on 10 ways the world could end suddenly. We are incredibly vulnerable to the whims of our own galaxy. A single large asteroid could take us out forever.
We're supposed to be seeing a
survive, we
meteor,
have to reach beyond the home
I believe.
planet. Think what a tragedy it would be if all that humans have accomplished were suddenly obliterated. And there's another reason we should go. Exploration is in our DNA. 2 million years ago, humans evolved in Africa and then slowly but surely spread out across the entire planet by reaching into the wilderness that was beyond their horizons. This stuff is inside us. And they prospered doing that. Some of the greatest advances in civilization and technology came because we explored. Yes, we could do a lot of good with the money it will take to establish a thriving colony on Mars.
That's some crazy
Yes,
shit.
we should all be taking far better care of our own home planet. And yes, I worry we could screw up Mars the way we've screwed up Earth. But think for a moment what we had when John F. Kennedy told us we would put a human on the moon. He excited an entire generation to dream. Think how inspired we will be to see a landing on Mars.
We could have been in the moon Mars a long time ago.
Earth and see that is one people instead of many, and perhaps then we will look back at Earth as we struggle to survive on Mars and realize how precious the home planet is. So, let me tell you about the extraordinary adventure we're about to undertake. But first, a few fascinating facts about where we're going. This picture actually represents the true size of Mars compared to Earth.
They're going to take everybody from the protest. They're taking everybody from the protest there. Everybody they round up.
Smaller, the surface area of Mars that you can stand
Yo,
on.
what's going on, Keith? How you doing?
To the surface area of the Earth that you can stand on, because the Earth is mostly covered by water. The atmosphere on Mars is really thin, 100 times thinner than on
no
Earth,
bunch of
and it's
Freemason
not
liars on
breathable,
that stage.
96% carbon dioxide. It's really cold there. The average temperature is minus 81 degrees, although there is quite a range of temperature. A day on Mars is about as long as a day on Earth, plus about 39 minutes. Seasons and years on Mars are twice as long as they are on Earth. And for anybody who wants to strap on some wings and go flying one day, Mars has a lot less gravity than on Earth, and it's the kind of place where you could jump over your car instead of walk around it. Now, as you can see, Mars isn't exactly Earth-like, but it's by far the most livable other place in our entire solar system. Here's the problem.
What's the problem?
Mars is a long way away, 1,000 times farther away from us than our own moon. The moon is 250,000 miles away, and it took Apollo astronauts 3 days to get there. Mars is 250 million miles away, and it will take us 8 months to get there, 240 days. And that's only if we launch on a very specific day at a very specific time, once every 2 years, when Mars and the Earth are just aligned just so the distance that the rocket would have to travel will be the shortest. 240 days is a long time to spend trapped with your colleagues in a tin can. And meanwhile, our track record of getting to Mars is lousy. We and the Russians, the Europeans, the Japanese, the Chinese, and the Indians have actually sent 44 rockets there, and the vast majority of them have either missed or crashed. Only about a third of the missions to Mars have been successful. And we don't at the moment have a rocket big enough to get there anyway. We once had that rocket, the Saturn V. A couple of Saturn Vs would have gotten us there. It was the most magnificent machine ever built by
It
humans.
just started raining in
And it
Wisconsin.
was the rocket that took us to the moon. But the last Saturn V was used in 1973 to launch the Skylab space station. And we
Nice,
decided
some
to do
Afghan
something
OG.
called the shuttle instead of continuing on to Mars after we landed on the moon. The biggest rocket we have now is only half big enough to get us anything to Mars. So getting to Mars is not going to be easy, and that brings up a really interesting question. How soon will the first humans actually land here?
2028,
Now, some pundits think
2030.
if we got there by 2050, that'd be a pretty good achievement.
No,
These days, NASA seems to be saying that it can get humans to Mars
By
by
2030.
2040.
oh,
Maybe they can't.
oh no.
I believe that they can get human beings into Mars orbit by 2035.
No.
But frankly, I don't think they're going to bother in 2035 to send a rocket to Mars because we will already be there. We're going to land in Mars in 2027. And the reason is this man is determined to make that happen. His name is Elon Musk. He's the CEO
Yeah.
of Tesla Motors and SpaceX. Now, he actually told me that we would land on Mars by 2025, but Elon Musk is more optimistic than I am, and that's going a ways. So I'm giving him a couple of years of slack. Still, you got to ask yourself, can this guy really do this by 2025 or 2027?
Yeah.
Well, let's put a decade with Elon Musk into a little perspective. Where was this 10 years ago? That's the Tesla electric automobile. In 2005, a lot of people in the automobile industry were saying we would not have a decent electric car for 50 years. And where was that? That is SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket lifting 6 tons of supplies to the International Space Station. 10 years ago, SpaceX had not launched anything or fired a rocket to anywhere. So I think it's a pretty good bet that the person who is revolutionizing the automobile industry in less than 10 years and the person who created an entire rocket company in less than 10 years will get us to Mars by 2027. Now, you need to know this. Governments and robots no longer control this game. Private companies are leaping into space, and they will be happy to take you to Mars. And that raises a really big question. Can we actually live there? Now, NASA may not be able to get us there until 2040, or we may get there a long time before NASA, but NASA has taken a huge responsibility in figuring out how we can live on Mars. Let's look at the problem this way. Here's what you need to live on Earth: food, water, shelter, and clothing.
Some fucking weed, man.
Here's what you need to live on Mars.
Some fucking
All
weed,
of the
man.
above, plus oxygen.
Fucking weed, man.
So let's look at the most important thing on this list.
Fucking weed,
Water
man.
is the basis of all life as we know it, and it's far too heavy for us to carry water from the Earth to Mars to live. So we have to find water if our life is going to succeed on Mars. And if you look at Mars, it looks really dry. It looks like the entire planet is a desert. It
Yeah.
turns out that it's not. The soil alone on Mars contains up to 60% water. And a number of orbiters that we still have flying around Mars has shown us, and by the way, that's a real photograph, that lots of craters on Mars have a sheet of water ice in them. It's not a bad place to start a colony. Now, here's a view of a little dig the Phoenix lander did in 2008, showing that just below the surface of the soil is ice. That white stuff is ice. In the second picture, which is 4 days later than the first picture, you can see that some of it is evaporating. Orbiters also tell us that there are huge amounts of underground water on Mars, as well as glaciers. In fact, if only the water ice at the poles on Mars melted, most of the planet would be under 30 feet of water.
I guess on
So there's plenty of water there, but most of it's ice, most of it's underground. It takes a lot of energy to get it and a lot of human labor.
released footage or
This is a device hooked up at the University of Washington back in 1998. It's basically a low-tech
And so, yeah, I
humidifier.
pray for people.
And it turns out that Mars atmosphere is often 100% humid. So this device can extract all the water that humans will need
So basically,
simply
I was,
from the atmosphere on Mars.
Looking at one of my posts
Next,
the other
we have
day.
to worry about what we will breathe.
yesterday
Frankly, I
about
was
the idea
really
of fake
shocked.
alien
find
invasion.
out that
Originally, I
NASA
was
has
just
this-
joking when I made this meme. You know how people want things to be back to normal for the 4th of July thing in America? It's like,
It's not.
4th of July, really? Like, I predict that there's not going to be much of a normal, going back to normal. I think it's only going to get crazier.
Yep.
And so this topic came to mind about how basically people believe that aliens are real and all that, and there is proof that they are, but there's also proof that they're hurt by prayer and calling on the name of Yeshua Jesus. And moreover, why have people from NASA, like the first boss, Werner von Braun, been talking about the last card they play will be a fake alien invasion?
My name is Carol Ross.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I'm an educator who became the first woman corporate manager of an aerospace company in Fairchild Industries. I'm a space and missile defense consultant. I've consulted to a number of companies, organizations, government departments, even the intelligence community. I was a consultant to TRW, working on the MX missile.
Hello there, I just want to make
So what the page looks like. What's his name? Naramura Red. Let me see. Find that fool. That's what I should have done. Let's see. I found the guy. I'm gonna subscribe to the guy. I'm gonna go to the Putos page real fast. So how could okay. This screaming controls. Years ago, what has I can't find a fucking video. I really gotta write all that shit, huh? Hold on, no, never mind. Fake alien invasion. Dude, I seriously can't find that same video and shit right here. 2 weeks ago. Let's see.
All right, I'm just going to load this one real quick. How many times have you heard the phrase, take me to your leader? right? Not that we have any here on Earth. We don't. They call themselves leaders, but they're actually rulers because they don't. If they're leading us anywhere, it's straight to hell. And you know that. I mean, no, they're not leading. They're ruling over us like they always do. That's what they do. They rule over us. And so they're all in cahoots in this fake alien invasion, which is coming, right? These folks have been here all along. They're they're not aliens, but they'll play that role because they're deceivers. And so that's coming right around the corner. How long it?
Oh, no. I wrote the whole fucking thing. Now I found it. Now I fucking found it. Son of a bitch. All right.
Hello there. I just want to make a quick video. I won't.
Here we go, guys. If you're still here, that's awesome. If you're not, I apologize. I'm going to start the video over now. Remove. Delete. It's 153. Remove. I'm going to go right here. Let's see, where's my conspiracy one? All right, Stoner's conspiracy theories. We'll go to that one right there. Save. All right. Go right here, screen share. Who's still here with me right now? I apologize, guys. Bam. I just got the notification right now that I was live and shit, so I'm gonna go join the video real quick. I'm gonna do a little sharing real quick. I'm gonna do a little bit of sharing. Now that I was live and shit. I'm gonna do a little sharing real quick. I'm gonna do a little bit of sharing. Now that I was live and shit. All right, so this is where it goes. I'm gonna do a little sharing real quick.
Keep it for long. I guess on this topic I heard, or this guy commented on one of my Facebook posts here about the idea of UFO released footage or disclosure or any of this whole nonsense that they've been planning since Operation Paperclip. And so, yeah, I pray for people in the mighty name of Yeshua Jesus to have discernment for what's coming because the Bible warns even the elect could be deceived. So basically, I was looking at one of my posts from the other day, yesterday, about the idea of a fake alien invasion. Originally, I was just joking when I made this meme. You know, how people want things to be back to normal for the 4th of July thing in America. It's like, 4th of July, really? Like, it's a trap. I predict that there's not going to be much of a normal, going back to normal. I think it's only going to get crazier. And so this topic came to mind about how basically people believe that aliens are real and all that, and there is proof that they are, but there's also proof that they're hurt by prayer and calling on the name of Yeshua Jesus. And moreover, why have people from NASA, like the first boss, Werner von Braun, been talking about the last card they play will be a fake alien invasion?
My name is Carol Rosen. I'm an educator who became the first woman corporate manager of an aerospace company, Fairchild Industries. I'm a space and missile defense consultant. I've consulted to a number of companies, organizations, government departments, even the intelligence community. I was a consultant to TRW, working on the MX missile. So I was part of that strategy, which turned out to be a role model for how to sell space-based weapons to the public. The MX missile being yet another weapon system that we didn't need. So in 1974 through 77, I met the late Dr. Werner von Braun in early 74. At that time, von Braun was dying of cancer, but he assured me that he would live a few more years in order to tell me about the game that was being played, that game being the effort to weaponize space. to control the Earth from space and space itself. Von Braun had a history of working with weapons systems and had escaped from Peenemünde to come to this country and landed as vice president of Fairchild Industries when I had met him. Von Braun's purpose in life during the last years of his life, his dying years, was to educate the public and decision makers about why space-based weapons are a dumb, dangerous, destabilizing, too costly, unnecessary, unworkable, undesirable idea. What was most interesting to me was a repetitive sentence that
Mad
he
respect
said to me
everybody
over
joining
and
in.
over again during the
Hello from
approximately
Phoenix,
4 years
Arizona.
that I had the opportunity of working with him. And that was the strategy. The strategy that Wernher von Braun taught me was that first the Russians are going to be considered to be the enemy. In fact, when I met him in '74, they were the enemy, the identified enemy. We were told that they had killer satellites. We were told that they were coming to get us and control us, the dirty commies, that whole story. First, the Russians were the enemy against whom we're going to build space-based weapons. Then terrorists would be identified, and that was soon to follow. We heard a lot about terrorism. Then we were going to identify third world country crazies. We now call them nations of concern. But he said that would be the third enemy against whom we would be needing to build space-based weapons. And the next enemy was
Crazy shit.
asteroids. Now, at this point, he kind of chuckled the first time he said it. Asteroids, against asteroids, we're going to build space-based weapons. So it was funny then. And the funniest one of all was against what he called aliens, extraterrestrials. That would be the final card. And over and over and over, during the 4 years that I knew him and was giving his speeches for him, he would bring up that last card. And remember, Carol, the last card is the alien card. We're going to have to build space-based weapons against aliens. And all of it, he said, is a lie.
And I'll link this in the description section below, along with just a bunch of other citations, just cause. But like, I honestly think that this is all planned. They're gonna do this to cover something up, in my opinion. But what could that thing be? Because here you got Wernher von Braun with his tombstone saying how he found the firmament of God, bragging that they're gonna fake an alien invasion. You know, flat Earth maps on their walls, JFK Situation Room. And it's like, Jesus, I'm ready to come home. People on Earth are tripping. And yeah, you think Corona is bad. Wait till the fake alien invasion. And it's the only thing I can think of. It's the missing piece. And maybe it won't happen, but I think it will. And like, apparently, like this guy was saying, his local news channel is saying, oh, UFOs, UFOs. And it's like, yeah, the UFOs are just back-engineered, pre-flood, fallen angel Atlantis tech. And they're going to use it ultimately, and they will end up saying Jesus was an alien to try to fool the world. And this Tyler guy says how he agrees. And I said to him, guys like my grandpa in the OSS, Special Forces, World War II, who smuggled all these Nazi bastards over during...
Yeah, they're talking about a solar flare. When is the solar flare supposed to happen?
It's why I make videos now. So yeah, this is the picture, obviously, that he was talking about. And then their aliens are coming. And so my theory on this whole notion is that they have to do something to fake what's coming, what the Bible calls the 70th week of Daniel, because whether or not you want to pretend Christianity isn't provable, some people out there, I mean, it's so easy to prove. And it's like you got all this Bible prophecy coming to pass. Still, some people just can't look. It also, I would say, involves the pre-tribulation deception. So I'll just read this here. I feel really bad for the pre-trib rapturous who think they're going to be raptured before said tribulation, because when it all goes down and they have to suffer, most of them, being complete sissies, I imagine, will break. And I pray for them not to, or a great falling away could happen. I think when the tribulation starts and the angel of God sounds the trumpet, the TV is going to have to cover that up somehow. And I think, in my opinion, they're going to say it was an alien spaceship entering Earth's quote-unquote atmosphere. Then there will be the actual 3.5 years of tribulation. And at the end of that, when Yeshua Jesus comes back, the Bible says the sun will darken, the moon will cease to give its light, as if there are two lamps in the sky and they will go out. Then the electromagnetic field will collapse and all matter will be reduced to atoms. But the New World Order might even try to fake a rapture event before that as well, so that Christians will feel like they got left behind and also lose their faith. This is called the 70th week of Daniel, and it can't start until the angel flies across the surface of earth sounding that trumpet. And to my thinking, the only thing the television media could do to cover that up is to say it was them, they're aliens. It's the only thing I can think of. It's the only thing big enough. So here's this chart, and I'll just zoom in on it for a little bit. You can take a screen capture of it. If you look at it on your Windows Media Player full screen,
That's
you might be able to
crazy.
read it better. If you're on a little tiny little phone, I don't know if you can zoom in. But this gives the outline. In the first 3.5 years of the tribulation, we're here for it. The Bible says that over 20 times. The pre-trib lie is only designed to break Christians when they don't get their way. But as far as back to this chart, then Janine from the Truther Chat mentions how apparently the Synagogue of Satan is building a special golden crown for their Antichrist Messiah, Exo-Vaticana, wannabe Jesus alien, which also makes me think if the planet Nibiru smokescreen psyop, they're going to use that to cover up Satan falling and just say it was an asteroid or something. But I thought, this is insane. They're building something for someone that will never be used because when the real Yeshua Jesus comes back,
It's gonna get
it says the
destroyed.
sun and moon will darken, so the EM field will collapse, and all matter will be reduced to atoms. And then our souls will rise up, we'll get our new bodies clothed in fifth-dimensional living light. So three-dimensional objects like a crown, yeah, okay, whatever. That's about as useful as a bullet in the head. But yeah, here's that picture of the UFO thing again. But yeah, this notion of a fake alien invasion, people should look into it. Start with the citations in the description section below. The movie Age of Deceit by Gonzo Chimera, he shows more than enough evidence. An interview with former deputy director of MUFON, Joe Jordan, talking about the only thing that's ever been recorded to ever hurt an alien is prayer or calling on the name of Jesus. That's not weird or anything. So it seems like the only logical answer is to play this alien card. Maybe they won't, but I think it's their only answer. I think it's the only way they can cover up the angel sounding the trumpet, is to say a big ship like this entered our atmosphere. And then they'll use the ether and 5G voice-to-skull technology to fake a telepathic event so that you think you hear that in your head, and everyone will hear it at the same time, and they'll fall for it. And a lot of people will fall for it. But me, when all this goes down, I'll be up in the highest buildings calling on the name of Yeshua Jesus to rebuke those little green shits. And yeah, that is funny. But yeah, put on the armor of God, the helmet of salvation, the sword of spirit, the belt of truth, the sandals of readiness, the shield of faith, and the breastplate of righteousness. Because yeah, it's going to get greasy. A lot of people, I worry, especially like I said about the pre-tribbers, because when this all starts going down and they don't get their way, and so I pray for people to not fall to fear. Because when this happens, it's better to just die with some dignity than to be dragged down to some torture camp or whatever, if that even happens. Ultimately, they will try to make Christianity illegal. I only hope that the people in the West can be as strong as the Christians in China right now. They're being torn apart for being Christians. So, but as far as this goes, it's the only thing I can think of.
I don't have a
that
real.
they can
I don't
use
have. I don't
to
have a
cover up
religion.
The angel sounding the trumpet, because everyone's going to hear it.
What if you
It
don't
might
have?
not even look like an angel. It might just look like an orb of light flying around, and this mighty trumpet sound happens. And people will think, what? It's an alien spaceship firing off a foghorn? Well, that's kind of bonkers to me. And you know what? I think a lot of people will believe it because people worship their image of the beast television. And so I don't know. I guess
don't.
at the end of the day, that's all I got to say
I
about
don't
this
even have a
topic.
favorite rapper.
So I pray for people. I pray for people in the mighty
I
name
like
of Yeshua
some
Jesus,
music,
because
but
I think that
I don't even know lyrics.
people want to fall for this. It's easy almost. The Archon illusion. I don't know. But I pray for y'all, and I'll just say peace out.
That's crazy. That's tight though. Hey man, love and respect everybody, man. I'm about to get my motherfucking rest of my day going, but I'll come back with some new videos and shit, man. If you guys got videos, definitely send me some videos on Smoke Nation Worldwide. Email down below, and I'll definitely play them. Again, man. If you guys got information, alien invasion and shit, man, you know what I mean? Fucking Civil War, fucking upcoming anything and shit, man. You know, the crash, UFO crash in Brazil and shit like that, man. You know what I mean? Fucking
action in the sky and shit like that. If you got that, man, definitely send me the motherfucking shit right there on smokenationworldwide@gmail.com. I am a stoner. I'm out.